In some other news, India has shamed and exposed terror haven Pakistan at the United Nations. India giving a point-by-point rebuttal to Pakistan Prime Minister Abbasi at the United Nations after he accused India of violating human rights in Kashmir. India countering Pakistan, saying Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of the country, calling Pakistan quote-unquote Terroristan. India also questioned the rogue nation's credentials in raising human rights issues when they are perpetuating brutalities on their own countrymen. India even raising questions on just how a country that legitimizes terror can continuously play the victim card. Abbasi had demanded an international investigation into the so-called alleged atrocities in Kashmir, urging United Nations to appoint a special envoy to Jammu and Kashmir.
As in the past, today the Kashmiri people are waging a heroic and populist struggle to rid themselves of India's oppressive rule. They come out in the streets daily to call on India to leave Jammu and Kashmir. India has responded with massive and indiscriminate force to suppress the Kashmiris. We ask that the United Nations Secretary General and the High Commissioner for Human Rights send an inquiry commission to occupied Kashmir to verify the nature and extent of India's human rights violations, secure the punishment of those responsible, and provide justice and relief to the victims.
Having diverted billions of dollars in international military and development aid towards creating a dangerous infrastructure of terror on its own territory, Pakistan is now speaking of the high cost of its terror industry. The polluter in this case is paying the price. Mr. President, even as terrorists thrive in Pakistan and roam its streets with impunity, we have heard it lecture about the protection of human rights in India. The world does not need lessons on democracy and human rights from a country whose situation is charitably described as a failed state.
We took the war to the terrorists. We have paid a heavy price. We have fought the war against terror with our own resources. The international community has failed to address the issue of state-sponsored terrorism.
It is extraordinary that the state which protected Osama bin Laden and sheltered Mullah Omar should have the gumption to play the victim. Pakistan has become a geography synonymous with terror. The quest for a land of pure has actually produced the land of pure terror. Pakistan is now Terroristan.
In fact, Bangladesh and Afghanistan also backed India in slamming Pakistan for harboring and legitimizing terrorists. Let's listen in.
No one desires peace in Afghanistan more than Pakistan. From 16 years of the ongoing war in Afghanistan, it is clear that peace will not be restored by the continuing resort to military force. What Pakistan is not prepared to do is to fight the Afghan war on Pakistan soil.
From the what country have almost every single terrorist element and group and about or more than 20 internationally recognized terrorist groups enter into Afghanistan, and they continue to do so. It's from Pakistan. They have been claimed and verified by various credible international sources.
In the 1971 War of Liberation, we endured an extreme form of genocide. In the 9-month-long War of Liberation against Pakistan, 3 million innocent people were killed and more than 200,000 women were violated. The Pakistan military launched the heinous Operation Searchlight on the 25th of March, which was the beginning of the 1971 genocide. The 1971 genocide included targeted elimination of individuals on the grounds of religion, race, and political belief. The intellectuals were killed brutally.
And it's not at the United Nations. The government has even reacted quite strongly to Pakistan's brazen claim of them being a victim of terror. Let's go straight across now to Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan. Geeta, Pakistan at this point stands globally shamed because the United States has also termed Pakistan to be a safe haven for terrorists. And in fact, even the recently concluded BRICS summit that had issued that strongly worded declaration against those terrorists who are obviously in Pakistan.
Well, to add to it, Avantika, they also stand absolutely isolated. There are three South Asian countries who've spoken at the United Nations. India's was the right of reply, but all three of them in unison spoke about the fact that Pakistan continues to use terrorism as an instrument of state policy. One of the most hard-hitting statements coming in from none other than a very young Indian diplomat. The Indian administration very clearly, Avantika, decided, and this indeed is a huge snub to Pakistan, that Pakistan Prime Minister's speech only warrants a young diplomat to really respond rather than the envoy or a senior diplomat to be responding. And in that, Enam Gambhir really took on Pakistan by calling it Terroristan and a failed state. Having said that, we will have to see what Sushma Swaraj, the External Affairs Minister, is going to say regarding Pakistan and Pak terror factories at the United Nations on Saturday.
Absolutely, Geeta. Thank you so much for joining us. And as the Pakistan Prime Minister accused India of atrocities in Kashmir, victims of Pakistan brutalities protested outside the United Nations headquarters in New York, once again exposing Pakistan. Baloch and Sindh activists raised slogans calling Pakistan a terror state, demanding an end to human rights violations by Pakistan in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Protesters, in fact, even thanking India for taking up their cause at the global stage.